And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling Tardis radio show. Fellow Whovians, thank you for joining us. My name is Christian Basil, the host of the Legend of the Traveling Tardis, wherever you are watching us. And hopefully you're watching us live here on the Facebook channel, whether it be at the Hanging With web show, whether it be the Legend of the Traveling Tardis or the Krypton radio, or even my private chat. You're more than welcome to tune in. And please remember to, if you would like to talk to Terry, all you have to do is, somebody deleted it off the you can just chat into the Facebook page of your choice, and we'll put your chats in here on live. In fact, Graham Course said, I'll prepare sandwiches. I guess he's getting ready for the show out here there. Again, my name is Christian Basil. To the far left of me, or maybe on the right side of you, is the lovely Leisha Mulchin. How you doing, Leisha? Welcome. Thank you for coming up online. Diversely Geek, and you're muted.
Hey, I'm back. I didn't want to cough on the show as soon as we started.
That's a nice way.
Thank you so much for having me. This is going to be fantastic. Oh my God, I'm very excited. Doing well.
Good, awesome. There to the bottom, my bottom left, your bottom right on the screen, there is the lovely Melanie Dean. Wait, no, I'm not. Yeah, you. I'm pointing to you. At least that's what it's showing on the screen. There is our director and lovely, talented Melanie Dean. How you doing there, Melanie?
Doing quite well. Hello, everybody. Thanks for logging in and watching us live, and otherwise, checking us out on the podcast as we debut it on Saturday, which is probably when you're hearing it the next time. But yeah, excited for today. Excited.
There you go. And then we also have the lovely and talented Brian Burress, better known as Dr. Freedom. Good morning, Dr. Freedom. How are you? And by the way, it's actually 10 o'clock a.m., so I'm assuming it's 3 o'clock p.m. where you're at right now, Terry. We're like the 5-hour difference. So good afternoon to our friends in the UK.
Good afternoon to you all over there. Well, good morning to you and afternoon. Thank you for doing this because, so often I have to deal with people at 2 o'clock in the morning. So this is great, Yeah, it's a nice afternoon, and it's a very sunny afternoon, a bit windy but very warm, and so we're enjoying a spot of really nice weather at the moment. But I'm here in my well, it looks like a sound studio. It's not. It's the corner of my my study, which I've turned into a sort of studio.
That's more highly technological than what I'm got with a shower curtain behind me right now.
Mary has acoustic panels.
Exactly.
So when does all the water drop?
Exactly. Don't tempt me. We can make it happen here. Brian, good morning. How you doing, sir? Thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's a lovely morning here. How you all doing?
This is great. Plus, I have to razz on him because when you show up late for this show, we razz you. Mark Muncie himself of Erie, Florida. How you doing there, Mark? Welcome to the show.
Pretty good. First time using StreamYard. I had to learn a new thing.
No, that's okay. We're live, by the way. I just want
I
know. So we taunt you live on over here. Alrighty. Let me get to the chats first because we got a few that just came up over there. Good morning, all. Happy anniversary. Thank you, Graham. Yes, we just celebrated our 8th year of the Traveling Tardis being on the Facebook page. So 8 years of that little hunk of metal. Where is he? Melanie. Yeah, it all started with a piece of metal that I can say like Walt Disney. It all started with that little blue box right there. 8 years later, this is where we are. So thank you, Melanie, for showing that there. Oh, Graham. We actually got the icon. Yeah, Graham gave us a little cake there. And I got Kat Smith on here. And, of course, if you are want to chat, please make sure you are on your Facebook page.
No, sorry about this, Kat. Got to do this.
Oh, is it? You got Monty?
Of course.
All right.
Hey,
there's Monty.
Heisenberg.
Hey, Heisenberg.
Yay.
Wait a minute. He does that?
He does. Yeah. He does a lot.
I didn't know he did that.
He does a lot more as well. No, stop that. Yeah. So Heisenberg is here. Hi, Kat.
Wait a minute. What's the difference between Monty and Heisenberg? Did I get it wrong, or are they two different bears?
No, Kat Smith, for those who don't know, is Miss Nerd Style, and she is a great uke player, and I play uke, and we've done a number of conventions together where we've joined together and done the Davros Variety Hour, And one of them, she had actually learned the entire song, the Heisenberg song from Breaking Bad, in Spanish.
Oh,
So she was playing that, and I was dressed up in as Heisenberg because I had the glasses and I had a big yellow apron saying Los Polos Hermanos, and we had these tiny little bags of blue rock candy, and Monty, this is Monty my bear, who I've had since I was born, and he's actually 82 years old.
oh my goodness!
He had his own little glasses and little hats, which Kat had made for him, and we went around distributing these little, blue bags of basically of the nasty stuff to everyone, and it was great. It was a real ball. We just so ever since then, between Kat and I, he is Heisenberg.
Oh, okay.
Not Heisenberg, Heisenberg.
Heisenberg. Okay, so we want Heisenberg there.
We got him.
He's in remarkably good shape. I mean, have you just always kept him really well cared for, or has he been like refurbished at all? Or because I ask this because it's funny. I watch. I'm addicted to the repair shop, and I watch a lot of people bring in their
Melanie,
old pets to have.
This bear was born in 1936. Okay, and I loved him to pieces, literally to pieces, as he grew up with me. And about 20 odd years ago, I found his pieces in a trunk, and I took him along to a antique bear restorer here in Norfolk, and I said, I don't know what you think. And she just took one look at all the pieces, and she said, oh yeah, Merry Thought, 1936. She didn't even have to blink. Bring him in. And he had no eyes, his ear had gone, all his he's certainly got no fur left, but he's got a tiny bit of, you have to look at his bottom to see what fur he used to have,
see where the fur was,
where it was. He was a mohair fur, beautiful, and now he's got his paws back and everything. And I wrote a book about him a couple of years ago called Montgomery Bear, which is all about him and me growing up. A kid's book,
Where can people find that book? I'm just curious.
You can find it from me when I'm at conventions.
Oh, okay.
I think it might be on Amazon still. I don't know. I think it was on Amazon, so it may well still be on Amazon. You might be able to find it there.
Terry, I was hoping you would bring Monty because I want to show you something. He's a very special bear, very, very special bear of mine. Recently got it. I don't know if they have something like hospice in the UK. We have something of hospice, and unfortunately, my father passed away this past October the 22nd. I remember that date very well because this year, February 22nd, had he made it, it would have been his 80th birthday. Yeah. But the hospice were very kind enough. They said, does he have any shirts he doesn't need anymore? That was a very, they told him to give us one of his shirts. So lo and behold, this is what they produced out of one of his shirts. And he was a very patriotic man. And this is, I don't even know what to call him. I was going to call him Dennis in respect to my father, but this is the bear that they made for my dad out of what he wore.
Oh, how lovely.
And it took 3 months, but when my mother got a different version of him and I got this version of him, and his favorite color. Oh, wait a minute. What's that? His favorite color was orange. I think he was one of the very few people I knew that his favorite color was orange. So he had an orange shirt. And this, if anybody wants to give a name for this bear to help him out, my dad's name was Dennis Francis Basil, but that is him. So Monty, I want you to meet this guy. And for right now, we'll just call him Dennis. And hopefully he'll last some 80 odd years into the future there. I wanted to bring him and show you because it's a very, very special bear there. Folks, thank you for joining us again. If you're just joining us right now, we are here with Terry Molloy. You know him best from the classic Who series. Not looking like Colin Baker, but the guy on the right, he looks much better now today. Might be a little more scruffier because he's been in lockdown. But if you want to see what he really, there we go. And there's Monty with our shirt.
Yeah.
So he's looking at
and the traveling TARDIS.
And the traveling TARDIS there. So yes.
Yeah.
So we want to welcome
the hair has grown somewhat. I'm getting more and more. I've not had it this long since the 60s, actually, but I'm getting more like one of the Beach Boys. I think it's just.
No, you just said when
I'm quite enjoying it, you know.
I'm following you on I'm following you on Facebook. You're aware of that, but I'm at every picture that you have, the hair gets longer and longer and longer and longer.
I know.
And all of a sudden, it's just going to be a fro. It's going to be like a Richard Simmons thing going on there. It's just getting bigger and bigger there.
Yeah, it's just I have a very good hairdresser, you know, and he cuts brilliantly. And the fact that he cut it when it was short, you know, and it's grown and is still in, you know, apart from a bit bulky at the back, it falls beautifully, you know. And I think, well, no, I'm going to wait till the man is back in business again and go back. You know, I'm not going to start chopping it to bits, you know. Because before, I mean, my wife used to just shave my head with a pair of clippers, you know. But no. Damien has done brilliantly with my hair over the last couple of years. So so I may well be, you know, I'll probably be, you know, I'll be auditioning for parts of Ben Gunn in Treasure Island and things like that, because or Catweasel or whatever, you know.
Would you? I'm just curious. Would you ever take your role back if they said, "Oh, Terry, you know what? Give it one more go." Not the audio, right on the show. Would you wear the makeup? Would you sit in the chair?
Yeah. I'd love to, you know, complete the circle. Would be nice. Yeah, I've no problem with that. I remember when I didn't come back the first time, somebody said, "Oh, well, it's because he's now too old to do it." I thought, too old to play
Davros.
Yeah. What a youngster he must be then, you know.
That's almost saying like James Earl Jones is too old to do voice Darth Vader. I'm just like, it's the voice.
It's the voice. Yep,
and he's wearing a mask, so I'm like, whatever. No,
I mean, I have to say, I just really enjoy doing the voice, and I don't have to get into all that schlep, you know. It's and you know, I've been doing stuff for Big Finish for them, and we did a couple just before lockdown. Which will be coming out sometime, and those are good. There's a couple of real goodies, and it's in the Time War with Paul McGann.
Oh my goodness!
And I've got another couple coming up, I think, and I say no more.
And just out of curiosity, before we go to a commercial break, how many characters in Big Finish have you played outside of Davros? How many do you know off the top of your head?
Well, it's got to be at least 10.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've done Survivors, I've done King, I've done Hamlet, I've done all sorts of different characters in different pieces. So yeah, I've done Davros now probably about 7 times, I think. I can't remember. I don't count back, but you know, the job comes in. But the great thing about having this now is that we can carry on doing that. You know, we
absolutely.
We have bi-directional web facility to clean feed straight into a recording studio, so it's as if you're there. And I can record this end as well if there are any stuff they need to pick up. So technologically, it's a great way for work, and I don't have to travel to London. Yes. Oh, results! Absolutely. You know.
You have homework, sir, when you get home tonight. Oh, you are home. Okay, well,
I am home. Yeah,
exactly. There, folks. We got a commercial break. When we return, we're going to continue our discussion and interview with Terry Davros Molloy from the '80s Doctor Who, playing Davros and other people now that we know of inside Big Finish. When we return, we're going to get to your chat, so make sure you continue with that chats. So stay logged on, stay tuned in, and please become part of the legend. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. For those of you just joining us on iHeart, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts. I'll never get that right up there. Thank you for joining us out here. If you're joining us on the Facebook or the live YouTube channel, thank you for joining us there. You are more than welcome to come in and chat. We'll read out your chats. So, Terry, we've got a lot of chats this morning, and I want to bring in my good friend and your nemesis, the Fourth Doctor, J.R. Hibbert. He is a cosplayer of the Fourth Doctor and does a wonderful job. He says, "Good morning to my favorite Whovians and good afternoon, Mr. Molloy." How you doing there, J.R.? Please make sure, put up a link there again there, J.R., for me. I think it's at the Fourth Doctor on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken there. But go ahead. Yeah.
J.R. Excellent. Time to die, I believe.
Oh, my. What are you going to do
JR, I
about
can
that?
hear JR giggling right now.
I think
I can hear it through the internet right now.
Baritone voice just giggling right now that you said that.
he just squeed.
Hey, Christian, Kat, I just shared that photo to you that Kat has of Terry. If you look in the chat, you'll see it there. So
Oh, okay. I will do. Okay, I'll see if I can pull it up out there. Let me go ahead and continue with the chats, and I'll try to bring it up over there. Want to welcome Luca Zampili, and if I'm sorry, I'm bad with names. Hello, hi, Whovians. Thank you, Luca.
Hi, Luca.
Give them there. And Kat just wanted to say hi, Terry there.
You.
And we have another person over here, Christina Allen, and I'm sorry, I'm bad with names. I will try my best. Christina Allen Mizukami. I saw TARDIS. I'm here. Yeah. That's what it was. That brings boys to the yard out here, the TARDIS. And we want to welcome also Curtis Fletcher Heisenberg. Yep, you give another big shout out for the Heisenberg. Cat Smith is back. We are big giant trolls.
They don't come.
If that's an insider, you better tell me about this.
No, I'm not even going there. Trust me.
Okay. And Cat's back.
Just to say, in one respect, some years ago, Kat actually had to get me to tie the bow tie of the Doctor because her partner Alex couldn't tie a bow tie. So there's a picture of me actually on the beach. I think it was up in north of New York, a tiny convention we were at, of me actually tying the Doctor's bow tie, which I think is it's beyond goodness, really, on behalf of Davros. I've plugged the book. Don't forget, Montmorency Montgomery Bear by Terry Molloy. You can get it on Amazon, I believe.
That we
Right.
got a place.
Okay,
We got a
there we
place
go.
beyond the conventions
Yeah.
on Amazon out there. I would assume if you were going to teach somebody to tie a bow tie on the Doctor, you'd probably tighten it a little more tighter than it should be on the Doctor out there.
Well, he did have a rather red face for quite a while. Yeah.
Christina's back. She goes, he looks phenomenal.
Who?
I think that's you, Terry.
Me? Not the
Yeah,
bear.
you.
No, the bear. Oh, I look phenomenal. Thank you, Christina.
And the bear.
I believe it was the bear.
It was
Yeah,
the bear.
it was
I
the
know
bear.
the comment
yeah.
at that time was the bear.
The bear, yeah. Well, he is phenomenal. He is, but he is also a bit of a party animal, and I really have to keep an eye on him.
Does he have a favorite drink of choice that you like? No? Rum. He likes
Bacardi. Yeah. I've been many a time. I've come back to the hotel room and it's been head down in the toilet. Really, not pleasant. Just don't go there. Shh. Don't listen to this. Yeah.
He's some drinking age.
Now I'm thinking, is Monty just a little haunted? Like, have you ever put him down somewhere and he moved somewhere at the time and just like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be
I
there.
put him down on my desk once at a convention.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing I knew, he'd gone. And there was a little note saying, if you want the bear back,
oh God,
you better send a lot of money to this women's refuge in Eastport. I thought, I know who this is. It's Janet Fielding for a start. Endless battle. She'd stolen him. She'd kidnapped him and held him hostage in the green room for about a day.
Oh my God.
I finally got him back, So I then had him surrounded by penguins with, with little earpieces and dark glasses as his security detail, trying to stop.
Love it.
So next time I'm at a convention with Janet Fielding, I need to nail down the traveling TARDIS or cover it in some oozy stuff.
Yeah, no, I think it's because Monty used to upstage her and her kangaroo many a time at conventions. So we had this running battle all the time. But she holds a grudge, does Janet? She really does.
Oh
yeah.
So I won't. Back to the chats with Christina. So I'm so sorry for your loss. Well, thank you, Christina. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, but I got a little bear out of it, and we're going to take good care of the bear, and we're going to take care of my mother, who got through a real tough patch. It was roughly around the time around the holidays. My dad loved two things. He loved Disney. He loved Christmas. And it just so happened that those two things were coming up right after his passing. And I took my mother to Disney and Christmas, which I think maybe that could have been a mistake at the time. But because I took her and I said, listen, I'm going to take you over there. And she the first parade that came by. She went outside. I was walking around inside the store, and she went out to watch the parade. And then 2 minutes later, she came back in. She was sobbing. And I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. But I think that was good catharsis. I think that was a good relief for her to say goodbye to my dad, because she went and did a couple things that she enjoyed there. But enough about that. We're talking about the Terry. We're talking about Doctor Who. More of your chats out there. Curtis Fletcher, did you ever hear the tragedy of Davros the Wise? It's not a story the Time Lords would tell you. Terry?
No, they wouldn't. It was one of those moments when they were trying to get in somewhere, and Davros in those days, he used to wear a long grey cloak and a big hat, and he had a big staff in his hand. He used to stand there in front of the Time Lords and say, "You shall not pass!" Boom! And they all fell off their TARDISes into a large hole.
I love how like 3 different fandoms just converged there.
Exactly.
Why not?
I love that. Because I
My
the second Curtis
favorite
wrote that, I'm like,
t-shirt.
I know this Palpatine kind of what it's spitting that from.
My favorite t-shirt is the one with a picture of a Dalek on, and it says, "Oh my God, R2D2! I loved him in Star Wars."
Yes, I've seen that. I have that shirt. I truly have that shirt there.
Yeah.
I walk around, and there was actually a woman, and I feel so bad for her, when I walked around with it. She was at a grocery store, and she goes, "Oh yeah, I watch Star Wars as well," and she walked away. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
What do you say to that? Speaking of lovely shirts, I think this is what Nisha. This is what I think you sent me. There you
Hey,
go.
that is it. That's the baby.
Well, for the folks who are on the radio, listening on the radio, they're on their podcast. Terry, explain what's going on over here. You've got Terry. You're both wearing sunglasses. What's going on here?
Well, both Kat Smith and I are great fans of Breaking Bad.
Uh-huh.
And we do a lot of ukulele duets and things together at conventions. Certainly a lot of the Regeneration ones that we did. And at one point, Kat learned the Ballad of Heisenberg on ukulele and in Spanish, and she sang it. And I was meant to be sort of accompanying her as well, but I thought, no, probably better if I just appear with Monty as Heisenberg and me as Heisenberg, Walter White, with the Los Polos Hermanos jumper with these little bags of blue candy. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. And so we were dishing these out to the audience. And we said, of course, we do realize that the result of this is there's going to be a lot of people being pulled over when they go through the airport by having these little bags of blue candy in their baggage. We're going to be responsible for a lot of arrests, but it was great fun. It really was such fun.
We won't go there. And more chats. Let's see. Gosh, we got more chats. Oh, we got Kat, I have a photo of Terry and Monty from the Heisenberg thing. If there's a way to share with you, I don't know if that was
done. That we've just done it.
Also, Christian.
Okay. Well, I think unless you got a different picture, Kat, you can send it to me.
Send the other one.
PM, but just in case there. And Lady Gallifrey's on. Gina Barres. Hello there. And I'm sure JR is still geeking out that you tried to kill him.
You mean tried? I will.
Tried to hurt him. Or try to hurt him verbally on there. We also have Katie. I'm going to mispronounce that.
Oh, Katie. Yeah.
I took that beach photo.
That was the one of me tying Alex's bow tie for him.
Oh, I think. Hang on one second.
Have we got that one?
Yeah, it's coming. I think.
It's coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up there. Sorry, folks.
In the chat,
there
says that was at Coal Hill Con in New Hampshire.
That's it, Coal Hill Con, very small con, and there we go. Yeah, I'm tying the Doctor's bow tie because he just can't do it. Bloody hell, these Time Lords haven't a clue.
a little tighter.
Yeah. Now tuck this in down the back of your throat. That's it. There we go. But no, Coal Hill Con was great. It was a tiny little thing which Clay Dockery and Stephen Webb put together, and we had a great time. There's just 70 people there, and me and I think who was it?
Kat's got it. This was Coal Hill Con in New Hampshire, and she put the
in
Facebook page. Yeah. And for those of you on the audio, it's facebook.com/ Dead Lights Girl. Dead Lights Girl.
That's girl. But I remember that they actually held a panel,
Mhm.
not for me, but for him. He had his own panel.
Oh my God, awesome.
And everybody who came knew about him, so they brought their own stuffies. And I've got a picture somewhere of this 3 rows of stuffed bears sitting on chairs, and Monty sitting at the microphone talking to them all. And then they all had photo ops with him afterwards. It was bliss. It was
that's celebrity status right there. That is celebrity status.
And the guy who used to run the bar, who ran the bar there, he produced a very particular cocktail called the Bad Wolf cocktail, and it was damning. It was wonderful. It was so good. Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, he had far too many.
Monty's having a great time on the show here. More of your chats. And we got a lot of people coming up here. Boots Miller, greetings from the San Francisco Bay Area. Hi there, Boots.
Hi,
Thanks for joining there. Thank you so much for joining us there. Oh, JR's back. Have you seen my jelly babies? That's not an innuendo. Monty hasn't taken them, has he?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes, everyone. We've got them all. Haven't we, Monty? Yes. You want a jelly baby? They're mine.
Oh my gosh. If you were not seeing on the camera, Melanie's got a little stash there.
Way!
JR is always known for
Actually,
having
no
jelly
jelly
babies at every convention.
Babies.
Katie comes back. Terry, say when, and I will suit up in a suit, earbud, and sunglasses and be Monty's bodyguard. Does Monty really need a bodyguard? Well, Janet Fielding, I guess.
With Janet Fielding's around, by God, he does. Yes, he's it's all sort of, please, step away from the bear, ma'am. Step away from the bear. Yeah, you're on, Katie. Yep, go for it.
Now I'm going to get a lot more of your chats, but I want to. We were talking Big Finish, and I want to show you one of my favorite Big Finishes that I have downloaded. Not just one, but 4.
Oh, yeah.
The Davros series.
Davros, yeah.
Davros, which I love because it was a completely. You got to tell me a little bit more about this, but I meant where the idea and the concept came from, because I love the idea of the Daleks putting Davros on trial, and it was spectacular. Tell the fans a little bit more about this, because I want people to hear this.
Davros, it was Gary Russell's idea. Mm-hmm. He was just about coming to the end of his tenure as exec producer of Big Finish, and was moving over to script editing on the new series of Who. And he came to me, he said, I'm thinking of doing a 4-part miniseries about Davros from the age of 15 up to the point where he creates the very first Dalek. So we see that journey from man to monster, but the family. And I don't know if anybody's seen a series which was done on British TV many years ago called I, Claudius.
Right, yeah.
Derek Jacobi.
John Hurt.
Claudius, yeah. And John Hurt as and all of them. And so it's very much that sense of I, Davros, with this patrician family. His mother is a driver, to get him, and he's it comes from a very rich family, and it shows his journey from perfectly beautiful Aryan member of the Khaled race through to being a soldier, and then finally getting to the scientific elite and making his way up the ladder, and politically making his way up the ladder until he controlled more than the rest of them, and creates the first. So in fact, the very last thing you hear on the the final episode is the very first Dalek saying, I am alive. So that's where it stops. You don't see that, what happens after that, but it's that journey. It was laying down the canon of where Davros had come from, and how he got to where he got to. Going back to when we were talking about it, we said, we were talking about this, and we said, well, what is that journey? And why did he become like he did? And my wife is actually a therapist, a Rogerian therapist, and deals with all sorts of things. And I was talking to her about it. She said, Well, from what I know of Davros, and she's not a great Doctor Who fan, but just seeing the character as the character, she said, it seems to me that he's probably somebody on the spectrum, that he has a level of autism or Asperger's or whatever. He has a savant mind. He has no social interaction with people, and he sees a problem, he sees a solution, and anybody who gets in the way gets wiped out. Or just taken apart, or just trampled over in his thirst to get to there. So that result, which he sees is perfectly valid.
And we have a commercial break. I'm sorry, if you want to, let's take it over the commercial break. But I just want to show you your younger self, Terry, right there.
Yeah.
That's what you used to look like.
I've barely changed, haven't I?
No teddy bear, at least in that episode.
No.
When we return, we're going to continue our discussion with Terry Molloy Davros. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tune in, and continue to become part of the legend. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil. Now, I know Mark is chomping at the bits, and we've got some chats going on here. So, Mark, I want you to ask your question, then we'll return to your chats in just a few moments. Mark, take it away.
Terry, I've been a fan for years. I love Resurrection and Genesis.
Oh, yeah.
But I have to say, I am a personal fan of Professor Edward Dunning and the Scarifiers.
Oh,
and with Nicholas Courtney, the great Nicholas Courtney. And I just want what was, just having so much fun with that, it seemed like. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, yes, actually, crumbs. Oh, yes, Prof. Dunning here. Oh, yes, well, actually, it's the fun continues. I've actually just finished recording a story about the Scarifiers called A Dinner Date with Death, in which, poor old Dunning, he always comes up for it. But, I mean, that started off years ago. Simon Bernard came up with this idea of these two elderly gentlemen in the 1930s who basically solve mystical and paranormal problems. And they actually become MI13, or MIB, as everyone calls them, because the actual wording on the card's too close together. So when they hand over the card, they say, well, what's MIB? No, MI13. It's they were great. I mean, Nick and I worked together on 6 of them, and then sadly Nick died, and we thought, well, that could possibly be it. But no, we carried on, and David Warner came in to carry on and carry that same torch, not as the same character, but as an associate of Lionheart's. So we got Detective Inspector Lionheart, played by Nicholas Courtney, who was an octogenarian copper who basically hit people a lot. And I play Professor Edward Dunning, who's a ghost story writer and a bit of an academic, actually, and totally naive throughout. We've done 11 of those, and I did one just recently, which was it was called Cold Call, which was just me, and it's great because it's like a lockdown. Dunning is actually locked into his rooms. So the inference is it's because of the virus. Well, it's not, because it's the 1930s. It's because he's being assailed by a demon, and he has to get hold of Aleister Crowley to find out what he needs to do to get rid of the demon. And it's very funny. It's on actually, you can get Cold Call for nothing. You can download it free from the Bafflegab website. That's Bafflegab, bafflegab.co.uk or .com, I don't remember. But yeah, that's available free for a free download. It's just a 20-minute sort of monologue. No, it's not a monologue. We have various characters like Caulfield Brown and Aleister Crowley and various other people popping in as well.
Well, it's a fantastic series. I'm excited.
Oh, it's been great. And as I say, I've because of this and being able to do this from a distance, Simon has put out tenders for several writers to write one, and I've just recorded one by Roland Moore, who was the guy who wrote Land Girls, and so yeah, it's ongoing. You know.
Actually, I'm going to do one better for you, Terry, and we're going to get back to the chats because we're running behind. So I am going to, no, you're fine. I'm going to put the link to that right there at the bottom. So people can
there we
check
go.
it out there.
Yep.
Let's run with the chats out here. Kat says, I sent Nisha the photo, so we took care of that there.
Yep.
Boots Miller says, I'm like, are we talking to Gandalf or Davros? Good question down there.
The answer is yes.
Yes, absolutely. JR, I also have that R2D2 shirt. Kat says Breaking Bad Wolf.
Yay!
Katie, the best of crossovers, Doctor Who and Breaking Bad. That's going to be a very interesting crossover. Want to say hi to Linton Keneally. Good day, Terry.
G'day there, Linton. How you doing, mate? You all right? Are you down under? Are you coping with all the cold down in Australia at the moment? Because I've heard they're telling people to only buy no more than 2 duvets because it's so bloody cold, and to keep your car headlights on so they don't freeze. I mean, geez, have you ever been to Norway or Russia? Come on, guys, man up a bit, will you? Break a tinny for me.
Kat says it's rock candy.
It is, yeah. The blue
I
stuff.
Swear.
Is rock candy. Honestly, it was, yeah. We had a lot of it, yeah.
Boot says that's hysterical. Katie's coming back. FYI, packing that rock candy is a major pain in the butt. Okay.
Meant to use your hands, Katie.
Gotcha. We just Paul Openshaw. Thank you for joining us. I'm a Doctor Who fan. Do you think should have black actor or female? I guess we're doing the Doctor. I'm a Doctor Who fan. Do you think we should have a black actor or a female? Maybe he's referring to Davros. I don't know.
No. Davros is quite black enough, actually.
Oh my!
In terms of evil, really, I don't care as long as I can exterminate them. Bring them on. Bring them on.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's the Doctor either way. They're JR. Yes, I love the call out, even though you're out to kill me. Okay.
Okay, JR.
He's going to get you.
I should be gentle.
Boot says because bow ties are cool. Cat. He says he worked out that tie for like 20 minutes. It was glorious. Cat says that's my page, not the cons. Nisha told me to link it.
That's Whatnot's page, not the con page.
Okay.
That's
Nisha. Send it in the private chat if you want. Breaking Bad Wolf Cat. Melanie Dean. Oh, there we go. Yep, that was the link that she sent me. Yeah. And if you want to check it out, please go ahead. Link's running down on the scroll down at the bottom. Irene Gallen. Yeah, hey guys. Yeah.
Hello, Irene.
Yes, she's in. I think she's in the Tampa area, if I'm not mistaken. I know she's in the area, but I miss her so well. I think the last time I saw her was over at Spooky Empire. No. We were at a convention. I forgot the name of it, but it was something like that. And we want to welcome Thomas Benham. We are all stories in the end. You make it make you a good one.
Good one, yeah.
Yeah.
I am a good one, and I'm
you are.
I'm writing my autobiography at the moment, and there won't be a word of truth in it.
Or at least the truth.
I do want to write an autobiography, but it'll be for my children, because it'll be my journey. It's not. I hate autobiographies that are, and then I worked with so and so, and then we had such fun doing this. That's really immaterial. That's not who I am or my life. My life has been, it's been informed by the stuff I do, but it's not who I am. And I think it's important for my children to know the journey I had from a child to where I am. In the same way as in Davros, we saw the journey from Davros as a young man to being this monster. So as long as my children realize that the journey is from me being a young man to being the monster I am today, then all will be well.
Do you still have that head somewhere? I remember we were at a convention. We were at a convention and you gave me I have the picture out here. I wasn't able to scan it as of yet, but it's a picture. It's a beautiful picture. It's Terry looking at center and Davros head looking at each other.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was a beautiful thing.
That was one of those silly things. I used to carry the head around me for conventions, and I was literally picking it up to put it in a case. And a friend of mine who's a photographer said, "Just hold that like that. Don't move." And he took the shot, and that was it. So no, the head I no longer have. I gave it to a very nice guy. At one of the conventions who ran the convention out west, because he'd done a brilliant job in creating the whole Davros thingy and whatnot. And I thought, well, this just sits here. I don't take it anywhere because it's a bit too fragile. And if it's going to get used by someone who loves it, and it's going to be, then yay, there you go, have it. I'm still nagging Mike Tucker to, give me another one, because did I tell you that we found my head in a cupboard?
Okay, that's a story.
Yeah,
a
few years ago, Mike Tucker,
who
who, as you may know, was the senior guy for the model unit for Doctor Who.
Mhm.
He rang me up and said, "I found your head in a cupboard." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, it's the original head mold that they took, that Stan did when he made the Davros mask." And he said, "I've found the Davros mask mold that goes with it." And,
wow.
And have they managed to get, I think, about 6 or 8 pulls off it before it finally began to disintegrate. So we've actually got 2 at the moment, which are now on display, or were in display, in the Doctor Who exhibition, because they did restoration projects on Davros's chariot and my Davros. So it's my original chariot. It's me wearing, it's the jacket I wore, which was also worn by Michael Wisher, and it's my head, which has been restored from the original mold. And also one inside what I call the flip top Texas barbecue from Remembrance. Texas barbecue, nothing to do with Texas. It's just over we have a DIY store called Texas, and they sell these barbecues where the lid flips up. And I always refer to the Emperor Dalek as this flip top barbecue. So there's one of those in the Doctor Who exhibition as well. So I'm just waiting for mine to come back here as well. Yeah.
I'm amazed that they found the original.
I hate to say it, but
I
hate to say it, but I always thought of that version. It's the one I hate to say it, but I always thought of that version as like a roll-on. It looked like a roll-on antiperspirant.
It does. Oh my God, it does. Well, now I go to the Doctor Who, marketing department now, and tell them, you know what, we need to have a Davros grill. It's the head of Davros, and you put the hot dogs here, and you put the hamburgers here, and you just cook it in the afternoon. Oh my God.
Very much so. That sounds a great idea,
Gotcha there. Oh gosh, we'll go ahead and quickly wrap up the chats out here. Just a second. Ludens Pagan. I'm late. Hello everyone. Hi Terry. Hi Monty.
Hello.
Ashley Whitting. Hi Mark from Ash and Rob. Okay, so you got a shout out there, Mark. There. And Boot says, I am always terribly sad for Davros.
You're right.
How different life could have been. Yeah,
it could be. It could be. See, people, just think he's not nice. He's terribly nice. He really was. He was really nice. Oh yeah, Kat's just posted a thing about when I was British royalty. We did a podcast video together. Where she played CJ Craig, and I played Lord the British diplomat. And I've forgotten his name now. Isn't that awful? Come on, Kat. What is it? Anyway, the one who always called the chief of staff Gerald the butler. And we did a sort of a cosplay kind of thing online a couple of months ago. It was great fun. Great fun. I love taking the Mickey out of programs and things like that. You may not have noticed that, but it's true.
Speaking of taking the Mickey out of the program, because I'm bad at segues, when we return, we're coming back to the final segment here with Terry Davros Molloy, the Davros from the 80s series, from Classic Who series, when we return, and now Big Finish. And I want to discuss more about that when we return. Please continue to stay logged on, tune in for the final segment with Terry, and continue to become part of the legend. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS for the final segment with Terry. And of all good things, everything goes so fast. Terry, I'm hoping you're having a great time. I'm hoping Monty's definitely having a great time out there. Look at him.
He's kind of licking his lips in a kind of a. And I don't.
If you're not watching this live,
I don't think it's not. I don't think it's I want honey either, is it? Yeah, later, mate. Later. It's not 4:00 yet. When the sun's past the yard arm, then you can have one.
Now, we finally get you haven't done Davros in a while, and then they ask you to Big Finish. What was your reaction to that when they first started saying, "Hey, you know what? We really need to bring him over to Big Finish now"?
It was great. I mean, I'd left in '89, and people didn't actually find out where I was for quite some years, because nobody knew where I was. And then I started to do the occasional convention and things. And then Big Finish started off, and I remember doing an interview for SFX magazine about Davros and what I thought about him and everything. And Gary had done one for the same issue. And he got in touch after that and said, hey, we seem to be talking on the same page here. Would you be interested in doing an audio version of Davros without any Daleks? I said, intriguing. Yeah, tell us more. And so that's how the very first one, which was just called Davros, and it's basically Davros and Colin, the number 660. You know, and actually it was one of those where you think, oh, actually Davros is quite a nice guy, you know, because and the Doctor was being a real, you know, toady to him and giving him a really hard time because they were trying to solve this problem for this this corporation. But of course, you know, the tables get turned at the end, as always. But it really, really worked. And actually, the very first speech of that Davros, I don't know if anybody's heard it. I'm sure you will have done, because it's called Davros. We did it in one take, and I didn't hear it again until I heard the thing, and I sat there and I was going, oh my gosh, ooh, that's So I always tell people, if you're going to listen to this, don't listen on your own in the dark, not the first 2 minutes at least, please, because it's actually very scary. It's basically a monologue about Davros wondering whether he should press this plunger and have him kill himself, because that's what the Khalids say he ought to do, because he's no longer beautiful and he's you know, they're all a bit scared of him. But and it ends with this wonderful, you know, this rant, the full sort of, you know, I will not press that plunger. I will not die. I will not die. This is not the end. This is only the beginning. Jagga-da-dang, 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 ding, ding. You know, and on we go. You know. So,
wait a minute, was that your take on the theme? I liked it. Nisha, you want to jump out the bit? Come on in.
Actually, so you've segued so beautifully, Terry. Hi. This has been so much fun. So actually, Kat's a really great friend of mine, so I'm so happy she got on here and we got to
yeah, great.
Really, my questions, because I'm a mental health specialist as well,
right?
Here in the US, and my love for Davros has been because I knew there was more to who he became, and I always felt that there was so much psychosis behind all of that. So you're playing a character where we already have the end point, and then you go back to create who he is.
Yeah.
How much leeway did you have in terms of that writing and in terms of how you emoted what you just said, as a matter of fact, exactly what you just personified?
We discussed long and hard what was nature and what was nurture, because obviously you're going to be affected, anybody's going to be affected as they grow up by their innate nature, as well as the nurture they get from the people around them. And he was in a very extraordinary nurturing situation of this very patrician family with great ambition for things. And as I say, we talked about the possibility that he was on the spectrum somewhere. So he had a nature that was so focused, his attention was so finely focused on problem solving and wanting to get things right, that you put those together, and that's how it. So we did talk about this at length before the writers went away and started to stitch things together, and I think it worked. I think it you know, it certainly, it's not we're not trying to bash the drum on it, but from my point of view as an actor doing it, I had that within me as my engine running while we were doing it. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And based on that, exactly that, what then was the strong ethos behind Davros's relationships in terms of the Daleks? That same nature versus nurture. How did he feel? Was he a father? Was he a lord? Was he a master? Or just a creator?
He calls himself a creator, and he does look on them as his children. He calls them his children in later ones many times. And like any parent, he gets fed up with his children because they don't do what they're told. And so rather than trying to teach them, he just re-engineers them in a way which he thinks will make it slightly better for him and for them. It's an odd one. I don't think he has an emotional attachment to them.
See,
They are just, and you've done it wrong, so I get rid of you. It's a sort of cut and burn. That didn't work. I'll just play God here, pull the switch on them, and we'll start again. Get back to the drawing boards. I know where I made the mistake. It was, page 727 of the code. That needs changing. Because he's a great experimenter. He likes to dabble with genetics. He likes to dabble with any problem that comes up. So that's where I put it anyway.
I love that. I love the juxtaposition between his own journey, because he can't rewrite who he is, but he can rewrite them.
Yes, yeah. And I mean, it's interesting. No, I don't want to give too much away actually about what's coming up. No, I won't. Discussions that happen in the Time War. There's a particular one called Palindrome, which John Dorney has written, which is going to freak you all out, I tell you. And there's discussions in there that touch on this whole area, really.
Ooh, okay.
Mark, you had something to say.
Yeah, I just have one more quick question. I remember reading in SFX, I think some years ago, that you did Davros in a stage play.
I did, yes.
Yeah, I was just curious how that went versus the filming for the TV show. I'm sure there's a lot more intricacies doing it live in front of an audience.
It was murder. It was absolute murder. It really was. I nearly died. Because not only was I doing it, it was a play that Michael Wisher wrote many years before, and this charity called Hyde Fundraisers, it was their 25th anniversary, and they wanted to redo it. And Michael had done it with them at a convention, and they wanted to do it as a proper stage play for children in need for the big charity that we have in the UK every year. And they asked if I would do it, because they wouldn't do it unless I would do it. And I said, well, yeah, but, I looked at the script and I said, because it's meant to be a trial. Davros is put on trial by the Time Lords. And there's all these inserts of different films that the fans have made about various incidents with the Daleks. And I said, well, yeah, but it's not going to really work as a trial. You can't have a 1,000-seater theatre where everyone then has to have a vote and you have to count them and then decide whether he's guilty or. I mean, you'll be there for days. You've got to have a kick out at the end. So I changed what had been the original ending to a slightly more sneaky ending, in that actually Davros had allowed himself to be taken back to Gallifrey in order to open a time corridor for his Daleks to follow. So in fact, at the very end, the new series Dalek bursts through, and followed by a special weapons Dalek, and blows out all the Time Lords.
Fantastic.
But we do have this trial. We do have this trial on stage. Now, I was on stage for 2.5 hours. Now, you're filming, you're working for a couple of 3 minutes every time, and then you can have a break. No, I was in that thing for 2.5 hours. I couldn't get out of it. I had to have somebody. I had a guy alongside me as my sort of like oppo, just feeding me water constantly. Otherwise, I would have died of dehydration. It's bad enough. You begin to lose focus behind that mask anyway. It all becomes a blur, and you could very easily drift off into sleep, So it was hard. And of course, I couldn't see much except the eye slits. On top of which, they asked me then to direct it, because the director, who was Gary, was going to do it, and he decided he couldn't get there for that. So I was directing it and acting in it.
Wow.
But interestingly, we had one of the prosecutors, one of Davros's prosecutors, was a guy called Andy Wisher, who happened to be Michael Wisher's son.
Oh, wow.
So you got Davros's son prosecuting Davros on stage.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Very much. But even more, I mean, more in the wibbly wobbly sense, some years ago, Nicola Bryant, who is a musician, she'd written a song. There was a competition to find a new West End hit, and she'd written this song, which Colin Baker's daughter Bindi was going to sing with a friend of hers, because Bindi's a very good singer.
Oh.
And then the girl dropped out. Now, my daughter Hannah is also a very good singer, and Bindi had heard her singing, and so Nicholas said, well, do you think Bindi and Hannah could get together and do it? And they did. So at the Soho Theatre in London, and it was just me being very, very funny about this, we had the Doctor's companion actually accompanying the Doctor's daughter and Davros's daughter singing together, which I just thought was just wonderful. So bizarre.
Terry, I hate to say this. We are at the end of the show. Let me wrap up the 5 chats that we have in here. We had a great time there. This is Richard, who runs the Binary Light Church, what I mentioned earlier.
Okay, hi,
hello
Richard.
there. Boot says, oh, well, how strangely twisted if Davros had been recruited by the Cybermen. Exterminate your hunger with the Davros grill. Yes, this needs to be a thing now.
Yay.
The Davros grill. Gina says Davros is
as long as I get royalties for this.
There you go. Well, with your head. And Emma K. Wood.
Oh, Emma. Hi.
And last chat will be with JR. It's been a pleasure to be a part of the Legend with the Legend this morning. Now, this is how I'm going to wrap it up, because I've had this theory I've been holding on for a while, Terry. You're the 3rd incarnation of Davros, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. You and we started off the little boy. So there's been 5 actors who've played Davros. So I'm going to put this in the chat, and I'm going to highlight it as soon as it comes up there. I think Davros is a Time Lord. I just don't think we know it yet. Oh, okay. Spoilers. And for our folks in the UK, we just put up the link also to for the folks. There's a USA link, and now there's the Amazon link for the UK friends. Terry, thank you so much. Thank you, Nisha. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Dr. Freedom. And thank you all for joining us.
Yeah.
What's that?
I was just saying thank you to Melanie and Dr. Freeman and Mark and Nisha. Thank you for making this such fun.
As always, and you made it hysterically. I mean, I love. This is the reason why we do this. So, Terry, thank you so much. You're welcome to come back at any time. Please, please, please do so. And for those of you joining us, thank you. Always continue to become part of the Legend wherever you're listening to us or watching us. Please stay safe. Please take care of yourselves. And again, always become part of the Legend. And that's how we should end it.
I changed the time. We have a little Monty squeak that we hear.
We got some last minute chat. This is the after show now. So Boot says quite possibly. Boot says in fact highly likely. Terry, you can stay on as much as you want. This is usually just us shooting the breeze if people wanted to keep just chatting. That was for the radio show.
Oh, thank you for letting me know about Terrifiers. I am on that right now. Downloading it on another tab.
Chase it up. And as I say, there's more coming, more in the pipeline.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
I the day I found those was a day of joy. I listened to like 12 of them in one day. It was amazing.
You know, Mark, I'd done about 3 of them when I realized where the character had come from.
Love this group.
And it was a character that I created, the very first acting job I ever did, when I was about 20, 21, with a children's theatre company. And I played a character called Mr. Spectrum, who was in charge of the Rainbow Box, which was the Rainbow Queen. It was for 5-year-olds, this play, you know. And the rainbow got smudged, and we had to find the colours to put back in the rainbow from the Rainbow Box. And Mr. Spectrum kept all the keys to the Rainbow Box. And I suddenly realised that I'd created this character, you know, 40-odd years ago, who used to speak like that. Oh, come along, we've got to get the colours back into the Rainbow Box. Oh, dear. You know, and it's Dunning. It was Dunning. It's become Dunning. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I stumbled on it researching H.R. James for some
stuff
I did. And I was like, hey, I know that character. And then I was like, oh my gosh, Nicholas Courtney, I'm a big Brigadier fan. So that was this is a must do. And then I was like, and the guy who's doing Professor's amazing. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Davros.
So, Terry, do you have any? Well, I'm sure. Did you have any shows planned in the States like before COVID went down? Your real name was Terry, so we're good. By the way, we're still live, but we're just not recording for the show anymore.
No, I didn't actually. No, I mean the last one I did was I think the year before. Was it in 2019? I think I might have been. Yeah. No, I had nothing planned at all for the States.
We gotta get you back here. When was the last time? The last time was when we met, right?
It was, yeah.
Down here.
Okay, if any convention heads are listening out there, Terry, Molloy, please bring them.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, there may be a possibility that I'm talking to Kat and Andy Hicks and various others who were involved in the Davros Variety Hour. And in fact, the last one we were going to do, which was the cancelled show of Regeneration, was the Terry Poppins variety show based on Mary Poppins, in which Dave Ross was actually Terry Poppins. So we are at the moment looking at trying to resurrect some of the material from that and doing it as a kind of a online, con without a con.
Kat, if you're still online, you can hear us. Just get with me. Hook it. We'll hook it up when things start blowing over. We want to hook that up.
Actually, she had already. Hey Terry, she had already mentioned, so we kind of already been chatting about it. That's
good.
Okay.
She's messaging.
Definitely.
We're on it. Yeah. Great.
I hope so. We have cons again in 2021.
You are getting it all on there. Yay.
Dave Ross Variety Show online. This will happen. Yeah, we love you too, Kat. So I for those of us in the States, make an announcement. Tampa Bay Comic-Con is on.
Yes.
And has not deviated. In fact, I just got the panel list. We are doing a panel every day. This is off the cuff, and this is to take place after July 4th weekend.
Do we have a booth?
We have a booth.
Yep.
Wait. I think we have
I
panels.
said we. I mean, does the TL?
I don't. I know we have
panels.
I don't know if we have
one.
Yeah, I have one, and I don't know.
Yeah, I know we have panels. I don't know if we have a booth, but we'll be touring around. The Traveling TARDIS will be there. But going forward, with the Traveling TARDIS, believe it or not, I'm going to have hand sanitizer. I literally have a thing of Lysol, a huge thing of Lysol, for the sole purpose of wiping the TARDIS down every single time somebody touches it. I mean, these are the changes. Yeah, just the little TARDIS
and everything.
Yeah, exactly. And I managed to spot some hand sanitizer. It's really hard. Just like if you go to if you go to the CVS, you actually have to ask them if they got it. You have to actually.
Honestly, the best place to get it is if you know if there's a local brewery, if there's a local not winery, distillery. Mm-hmm. A lot of those places are using their excess batch alcohol for hand sanitizer. So you could go there because that's their extra stream of income right now is making PPE.
Yeah, I know the distillery in St. Augustine converted into making that. Yep. I don't know if the winery.
Froggy's Fog, it makes all the fog juice for haunt industry, is making sanitizer now too. It's crazy. That's where we got ours. This is a big jug.
I just got lucky that Publix had hand sanitizer. Came in a weird. It came in a bottle of some kind. It was. I've never seen anything with hand sanitizer that came like this. I just never seen it like that. I mean, it's usually the squirt or the little tiny thing, but I mean, I just bought it and this literally will be specifically just for Tampa Bay.
Well, it's part of the supply chain. It's the bottles that you would usually make to put in to have for hand sanitizer. Now those need to get manufactured as
exactly.
Just now and say, okay, what molds do you have? Okay, well, put it in there.
Exactly what I was going to tell you, because they need to have an approved vehicle or vessel, and those were already approved to be able to hold certain substances, and so that's why they're able to package it the way they are. It takes too much to get repackaging done in this day and age. But I got you hooked up for supplies, Christian.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's why
I love this.
Luckily,
you should have everything covered. Terry, well, what's been like the new life in COVID-19 world in your area? I meant for us, the theme parks were the massive thing to lose all that industry. But in your neck of the woods, how did things change?
Well, my neck of the woods, which is a rural area of North Norfolk, plus ça change les mêmes choses. Nothing changes. I mean, it's been like in lockdown anyway. Normally, within the country, it's been really hard. Because people and now we're getting such terrible mixed messages from the government
Mhm.
You know, they've moved from stay at home to stay alert. What the hell does stay alert mean? You know, you're going to walk around. Oh, look, there's some virus. Oh, you know, oh, I'm being alert. That's rubbish.
Were you hibernating before?
Yeah. Well, everybody was in lockdown and is in lockdown,
Yeah.
and it's a requirement for people to be in lockdown and not to travel more than 100 miles.
Mhm.
I mean, that's only just been opened up for people to actually travel 100 miles to say go to a beach. But up till a week ago, serious lockdown. If you were seen traveling and stopped by the police, you had to have a really good reason for traveling to where you were going to go.
Mhm.
I mean, in Wales, any car coming into Wales is stopped by the police. If you're not a Welsh resident, a resident of Wales, or got a very good reason, you're arrested. And people are fined £70
Oh,
for
my God.
not being. And so we've now got a major blow up at the moment because Dominic Cummings, who you may or may not know, who is this kind of, he basically looks like the character from Mars Attacks, and he's a bit like that. He's
Which one?
oh, the big one.
Is there a
And
timeline for someone who's traveling because of business? For instance, if you were coming to the convention in Tampa, there wouldn't be a restriction.
no, there wouldn't. I mean, there are no conventions. Theatres are not open. They're not allowed to be open.
Well, if you were coming here to the U.S., for instance, right?
Couldn't.
Okay, that was the
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be allowed in the country anyway, for a start. And if I tried to come home, I'd then have to go into quarantine for 14 days.
yeah, it's too much.
They finally got their act together and stopped people coming in. You know, for a month, we had 1.8 million people pour into the UK from Spain, from France, from Wuhan, from wherever, and only 300 people were put into quarantine during that time. Now they've locked down and said everyone's going to go into quarantine, regardless of whether they're British nationals or anywhere else. You're in quarantine for 14 days if you fly in. So it's been very rigid, and actually the public have accepted it and said it's a great idea because everyone's saying, well, I mean, they're now talking about opening the schools on the 1st of June, and we'd be saying, what? But why? You know, that is so dangerous. We still got, 800, 900 cases, deaths a day.
Mhm.
You know, we're getting more and more COVID things every day. It's not gone down. And people are saying when it's below, they're saying it's the R number. Once it gets below 1, then it's okay. But certain areas of the country, it is still 1 point something.
Mhm.
And yet they're saying, oh, blanket, everyone, all the schools are going to be open. Apart from Eton, of course, the public schools won't be. They won't be open until September, because, the plebs can die. It doesn't really matter about the people who are, going to be the future leaders of the country. So, yeah, there's a lot of hoo-ha going on about that. And the chief special advisor to Boris Johnson, the guy called Cummings, the ACAC from Mars Attacks, it was discovered that he and his wife contracted COVID just before Boris Johnson, well, around the same time as Boris Johnson did. He rushed, and there's a picture of him running out of Downing Street the day Johnson announced he'd got it, rushed back home to his wife and packed her and his son, and this was at a time when we were in lockdown and you weren't allowed to travel anywhere, drove 265 miles to Durham to stay with his parents so that they could look after the child if they were ill.
Oh,
and now the government's sort of saying, oh no, it's no crime to go and and we're saying, but you're not allowing anybody else to do anything like this. How come suddenly it's one rule for government and another rule for the plebs, for the rest of us? I'm sorry, letting me politics show.
No, that's fine.
There's a lot of
Jerry,
people engaged with this. It's
no, you're fine. I'm just going to stop the broadcast at this moment. I just want to wrap up, which means nobody will be able to see it. But Niche, Boots, I'm going to say, go ahead. I don't want to guarantee anything, but I got the panel lists and the times when they do that. They're pretty much saying that they're going to be going. So if you want to reroute your trip, go for it. Ludus, I'm going to be looking into hand sanitizers with Traveling Tardis. So that would be great there. I actually had a customer give us a bunch of mini spray sanitizers when she came in to pick up coffee as presents for all the baristas. Oh, that was nice of her. Maybe Torchwood should be issuing the alerts. Yeah, of course he did. And I love how Britain politics mirrors the U.S. Folks, I'm going to end the live broadcast. Thank you for joining us for the after. And if you want to continue the discussion, this will be on the Traveling TARDIS page. You can continue the chat. This, Terry, I think is going to be coming out 3 to 4 weeks. I can't tell.
Okay. Right. Okay.
I will definitely let you know, and I'll send you the links as soon as the audio version of this comes out over here.
Shout me and link me, and I'll put it up on my website
You got
and on my social media as well.
Sure. But I'm going to go ahead and
Okay.
end the Lisa Studio broadcast in 3, 2, 1.